Buffer here, and we're being broadcast around the world. Thanks everyone for joining us on the Solar Objections live action role play. I have the pleasure to introduce a big UFC fan, fellow poker player, Solar Pro, and my friend, Solar Joe.
Man, it's so nice having Bruce Buffer introduce me every week. He's so consistent. You know who else is super consistent? Jesse Staalman, who's my new guest this week. Jesse is one of those guys moving up the ranks, man. He started about 3.5 years ago in solar, started out his first year door knocking. His next 2 years, he's closing. And 6 months ago, he's managing, and he's just one of those guys moving up the ranks. He's really a high one hit close percentage, which is really amazing. And he's super busy. And he was just closing or working with a homeowner just before. And we always know homeowners come first. So Jesse, thanks so much for being here, man.
For sure, man. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Hey, everybody watching, if you're happy Jesse's here, go put in the comments. Thank you. Let's go. If you have any questions, any objections you want to handle, go ahead, put in the comment section now. If you want your name shown, you have to go to the StreamYard link on the bottom of the post and give us permission, or just say Facebook user, okay? All right. So today I will be playing the role of the not today homeowner, and Jesse will be playing the role of the Solar Pro. So let's get started. Hey, Jesse, thanks so much for meeting me, man. I know it took a while to get here, but I just want to make sure you know that this is something I'm just going to wait on until later. I'm not planning on making decisions today, okay?
Okay, yeah, totally makes sense. It's actually what a lot of people tell me, so that's not an uncommon thing. Is there something in particular that you're kind of waiting on, or that you're trying to find out before making the decision, or is there something particular holding you back?
I want to get the best deal, and I can't say you're the best deal until I compare and contrast.
Dude, that totally makes sense. Okay. Figure that out and then get you the right deal early.
All right, sounds good.
So what does a good deal mean to you exactly?
Well, I want to just compare it to a few options and just kind of make sure it's the one that makes the most sense. So I want to compare and then pick the one that's the best for me.
Okay. Now, is it primarily a price issue? You want to deal with the right company? Are you looking for particular equipment? Like, what is it that kind of makes something the right fit for you?
Well, my whole deal with solar is saving money. So the more money I can save, the better deal it is,
Okay, beautiful. So the more money you can save, the better. You want to make sure you're saving the most amount of money. That's the person you're going to jump in with, correct?
Probably, unless you show some value somewhere else.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So it's about making sure that you're saving as much money as you can while making sure you got the best value as well. Does that sound correct?
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. Well, just so you know, I talk to a lot of people who will actually say the exact same thing. You don't want to go out and just jump on the first train. There's a couple of things that are good to know about solar, really. One of them is that everywhere that you go, you're going to have multiple solar companies. Okay. The nice thing is that most of them are going to be priced very closely to each other. There's a couple of different reasons for that, right? There's going to be very similar costs across the board, and we all got to stay competitive, right? By no means am I going to guarantee that I'm going to be the cheapest option, okay? In fact, I won't be the cheapest option. You're going to go out there, you're going to find somebody cheaper, okay? So if that turns you off at all, just let me know now, and I don't want to waste your time, right? If it's something that's I need to find the cheapest one, we're not the people for you. So is this something you still want to talk about, or you want?
Oh no, I don't want the cheapest, man. No, I've had my bad luck getting cheap stuff in the past. I definitely want to get the best deal, and sometimes you pay a little more money for the value, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I just want to make sure I don't want to waste your time, right? Okay. Cool. So as far as savings goes, you're going to have very close similarities. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's not going to be a crazy difference. So the big thing for you is making sure you're getting the best deal and the best return on your investment, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So there's two different ways you can calculate that best return. One is going to be cost, right? Not price, cost. And two is going to be the amount of work and effort that you have to put in personally, okay? So if you can have something where you're saving a lot of money, but it's not costing you a lot of time and it's not a lot of investment, there's no headache, that's kind of going to be a good balance. But let's go back to cost real quick. So one of the things that people will get wrong, and it sounds like that's not you, it sounds like you get this, right, is they'll try and go out and find the cheapest thing, but then it costs them more over the long term, right? Things go bad. Customer service isn't good. It takes too long to install. Whatever the issue may be, you end up spending more money and time in the future because you tried to save a buck now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, perfect. So a few ways to kind of counteract that is to make sure that you're actually dealing with the strongest company, right? It's not really about price for you, it doesn't sound like. It sounds like you want to make sure that long-term you're making the best decision to save you the most time and the most money. Does that sound
So
bad?
how do I know which company is the best then?
Beautiful. So there's a couple of different ways to tell. The most important way is to look at what other people are saying about us, right? If people are complaining and they're saying negative things, you'll hear about it, right? More people post negative reviews than positive reviews most of the time. Is that right?
True.
Right. So one of the best ways to look is to just take a look at our online profile and find out what other people are saying about us and let that make the decision for you. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I definitely trust that. And especially if you have testimonials too.
Okay, beautiful. Well, let's do a couple of things. Let's go ahead and look up our reviews online, look at the Better Business Bureau, Google, etc., and just kind of see what people are saying. Let's kind of do that together. Okay. So here you see we've got an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. We're tickling 5 stars, right? Which is pretty cool. We've been in business for 14 years. Okay, maintaining that kind of reputation is tough. You're familiar with some of the bigger companies out there like Google, Facebook. Use those a lot.
Yeah, every day.
Okay. Have you seen their reviews at all?
I think there's some pretty bad ones actually. I don't know.
It can be pretty rough. Yeah, exactly. And the reason for that isn't that it's a bad company. You use them all the time, right? The reason is that once they get bigger and bigger and bigger, it's so much harder for them to oversee and take care of every single person. So people are just going to get left out. So an important thing is to measure not just the reviews, because you could be in business for a year, have sold 2 customers, give them perfect service, and you got 5 stars, right? Okay. So the fact that we've been in business for 14 years means that we've been able to keep people happy over a long term, which can be very difficult to do. So that's the best way to find out, hey, what's the best company is that ratio of time versus reviews. And as you can see, we come in with shining colors on that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I see that. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So if you know that you're dealing with the best company, pricing is going to be a little bit here or there, right? It's not going to be massive changes. Everybody's got the same costs. If you can make sure you're dealing with a great company and you get to save half of what you would spend over the next 25 to 30 years, would that be enough savings for this to make sense for you today?
I mean, if I get half off of what I'm spending, why not? Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's kind of get into what you're spending. I'll kind of give you a good breakdown of exactly what you're going to spend with Georgia Power. And once we get a good idea of what you're currently locked into, then we'll look at solar as a comparison. Because don't get me wrong, you're not making the decision today whether or not you're going solar, right? Most people, it makes sense. Of course, I want to go solar. For you, the decision is, do I prefer Georgia Power or do I prefer solar, right? So let's do a comparison of those side by side. And if solar comes out on top and you know you're dealing with a reputable company, we'll sign you up today. But I'm not going to twist your arm. If you look at it and we're not saving you enough money, it doesn't make sense, or there's something you don't like and can't get over about us, I'll leave. No hard feelings.
Well, I just want to make sure you know, Jesse, I never buy at the first meeting. That's like my rule. I always, I'm really strong on that. So I don't want to, overpromise you anything. So I just want to make sure I am not buying in the first meeting. Okay.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. My wife's actually the same way. She'll go and look at like 4 or 5 different cars, exact same model, just to make sure she's getting the one that she likes, right?
Yes, exactly. That's how I am.
Exactly. You don't want to hop on something and be like, oh, I should have done this other thing, right? Okay. So that's the beauty of it. Wherever you guys end up going with, right, whoever you guys decide to go with, you're going to get panels and an inverter, and it's going to be connected to your meter. So the nice thing is wherever you end up going, you're getting essentially the same thing, right? So the difference between a car is, how many car models are there out there?
Oh,
right? Right. You want an SUV? Do you want a sports car? Do you want a coupe? Right? There's all these different options. With solar, there's a couple of different options, but really, if you can get good value, all it is panels, inverter, meter box. That's it. Make sure you're dealing with the right company. Does that sound fair?
Oh, so you're saying there's not really a major difference between all the companies. It's really about, do you want to go solar or not? That's pretty much.
I didn't hear the second part of that question.
It's pretty much, do I want to go solar or not? Is what I should be focusing on pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, depending on which, I mean, all the companies are going to be very similar on price. It's reputation that matters. All the systems are going to be very similar, right? In Georgia, you've got a cap on how much solar you can get. So everyone's going to be hitting that same cap. There's not going to be a big difference. Ultimately, you just got to decide, do I want Georgia Power or do I want solar? That's the decision that you've got in front of you. Does that make
No,
sense?
I get it. And, even if I did decide that I don't want to, I'll break my rule and buy the first meeting. I just got so many things going on, man. I got my backyard I'm working on. I got my the whole landscaping I'm doing, and I just have so many things I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of cost, or are you getting involved a lot? Like, what's kind of going on?
Cost, man. It's just like they do all the work. It's just like it adds up. Like, oh, now we added this, now we got this. I'm just getting over my head with cost.
Jeez. Have you lived here long, or is this kind of a like a new house? So you're getting everything set up. Like, what's all the work
I'm gonna
about?
get done by the summertime, man. I want to have a nice backyard for the summer.
Yeah.
We're
Okay. Getting everything prepped so you can chill by the pool, right?
exactly.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, that actually works out well because beautiful time to go solar is actually right before the summer because you actually put the panels up. So you're talking to me at the perfect time. You picked this out right. You put the panels up, and right as summer starts to hit and all that sunlight comes in, you're getting hit with those rays. And instead of ruining your roof, you're actually saving up credits and money through your solar. So it's really good timing. And I'm glad you mentioned the cost situation. So, one thing that many people misunderstand, and this is why we come out here, is solar doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Is there a price? Yes. Are you going to spend money on solar? Yes. But it's not going to cost you anything. The beauty of the program is that you're going to transition from being a higher bill that continues to increase to a lower bill that never increases again. Okay. So if you can have a low bill that never increases again, does that give you more or less money to spend on the backyard?
There is more money.
More money. All right. So we'll make sure to save you as much as we can. That way you can get whatever flowers the wife wants or whatever it is that you want to do. You've got a little extra spending money out there. Sound good?
I didn't think about it like that. That makes sense.
Beautiful. Okay. So let's just take a look. Make sure we're saving you some money, right? Make sure your roof is a good candidate, that you qualify. Not everyone is able to do this. But as long as we can check those boxes and make sure you're getting in business with the right company, we'll get you signed up today. If we don't save you money, you tell me to get lost. Sound fair?
Oh, I won't tell you get lost, but everything else sounds good.
All right. Fair enough. Appreciate that.
I have one question though, because my roof is like about 15 years old, and I'm worried about if I get a solar system, if I get a new one, and what's the cost associated with taking it off and back on?
That's a really good question. Okay. So your roof currently, do you know kind of what state it's in? Have you had someone come out and inspect it or anything like that?
No, I just got a brand new roof 15 years ago.
Okay. So do you know the lifetime that your roof's supposed to have?
I think it was like 30 years, I believe.
30 years? Okay. So you've got another 15 years ahead of you, right? Okay, beautiful. So basically over the next 15 years, you just got to make sure you're saving enough money for it to be simple to take the panels off and back on without costing you too much. Okay. So if we can save you enough in the next 15 years, you got all this money stashed up for that extra cost of getting the panels removed and reinstalled, you're golden. Okay. If for some reason you don't save enough money to do that, then we're going to kind of talk about how we might be able to get involved with the roof and get you set up with everything at once so you don't have to worry about it. But with you having 15 years left, it sounds to me like you'll save plenty of money for that to be able to cover the cost you'll have 15 years down the road. Shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, okay. So it's going to make me money, so I don't have to worry about what it's going to cost.
Right. If it saves you enough, it'll make sense for sure.
Okay. Sounds good. How much does it cost? What is the price?
Yeah, beautiful. So we got your bill here. And how much would you say you're kind of spending on average, Joe?
It's about $250 per month.
$250. Okay. All right. Not crazy high. Some of your neighbors are doing much worse. So good for you. What do you do to keep your power usage down?
It's just me in the house, so I don't have to use much, but I do have my hot tub I use every night, but that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Every night. Dang. Okay. Good.
I try to, I mean, if I can.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Cool. So on 250. So you've got a $250 bill. The two other things that kind of are going to be important. Obviously, you own the home, but there's two other qualifiers we need to make sure that you meet in order to be able to tell you exactly what it is that this would cost you. Okay. First one is we're going to want to know whether or not your credit score is over 650. Is your credit score higher or lower than 650?
Oh, well, way higher than that. I mean, above 700 for sure.
Oh, good for you. Okay. Even with all the yard work and everything, you're keeping it up there?
Yeah, well, actually, it helps me. So I put it on credit and pay it off. You know the game.
Very good. All right. Smart guy. I like it. Okay. All right. So that means that you kind of, you check that box. The second thing we're going to want to look at is kind of get an idea of what you're going to qualify for from the federal government. So do you know about how much you pay in taxes in an average year, federal income taxes?
Oh my God, so much. Like thousands of dollars, like $10,000 or something. Like a lot.
About $1,000?
At least $10,000 for sure.
At least 10 grand. Okay, beautiful. So in that case, for you, it would actually have no cost because the federal government is going to cover all of the upfront expense for you. All you do is switch out a higher bill for a lower bill. So we can get into that once pull up the proposal. We'll take a look at exactly what that bill would be, but it would actually cost you nothing out of pocket. You're just switching two bills out. That's it.
Okay, so is this something where I can still shop around? Like, how does that work? Like, when do I make a decision on this? And
yeah, so as long as the numbers make sense and you're going to save enough, we'll just go ahead and get you signed up today. No point saving money 2 months from now if you could be saving money today. Again, we just want to make sure that you're saving enough money that this makes sense for you, right? Looks like we're dealing with a company that we're comfortable with and all that. Again, equipment's going to be pretty much the same across the board. We just got to make sure we're saving you enough. So we'll kind of go through the savings. Like you said, if we can save you about half over the next 25 to 30 years, sounds like we'll go ahead and sign you up today. Does that sound fair?
oh, it sounds amazing. Yeah, this is a no brainer. I'm just gonna think about it though. What can I get your card?
Yeah, sure. I actually have a digital card. Do you have your smartphone on you?
Yeah, here you go.
Go ahead and scan this. Yep. So if you look right here, there's our link. Smart Energy Today. You can kind of read up about us and kind of what we're all about. Is there something particular you're still wanting to think about, or anything else that I can answer for you?
No, I definitely want to do this. I just want look at a couple other options. I just want to make sure I have just choosing the right place. But yeah, no, it makes sense that you are the right company, and I like the deal. But just not today. But yeah, I like everything though.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So let me just make sure I covered my bases and did a good job, okay? Because last thing I want to do is leave, and it's something I did. We don't want that to happen, okay? So, so first of all, we kind of talked a little bit about the company. Are you comfortable working with this company? It sounds like someone you'd work with.
I saw the reviews, and it's A-rated and 14 years, and no, it sounds like a really good company.
Okay, beautiful. Just want to make sure, okay? Second thing is, does the price make sense? Like, do you see how much you're saving? The money side makes sense to you, it sounds like?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going solar. It's exciting. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, perfect. So we've got those two, and the last one is you don't got any problems with me, right? We're still friends. I didn't hurt you.
No, I like it, man. Yeah, you're cool. You gave me a lot of good information, bro. I like it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it sounds like we're checking the boxes. We're just kind of wanting to hold off. Maybe it's something new, something different. We want to take our time and just kind of settle on it. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes.
Totally understand. So here's the thing. When I go out and I knock on doors, I knock on 100 doors, and only 10% end up setting the appointment, right? When I sit in the appointments, I'll sit in 100 appointments, and somewhere between 60 and 70 people will actually move forward with solar, okay? Because like you said, once you see the information, it makes sense, right? There's no reason not to go solar.
Yeah, no, it does.
Exactly. So for the most part, people who decide not to, it's one of three things. Either they don't qualify, they don't save money, which neither of those are you, right? Or it's a change, and nobody likes change. Does it sound like maybe the change thing is kind of what we're
That's it right there. Maybe that.
All right, you're one of those. Okay, I get you. It's all good. So here's what we do. Honestly, you've kind of stumbled on one of the hacks in this. So obviously, if someone goes, I need to think about it, I'm not comfortable with change. What we're going to do is you and me, we're actually going to call my manager together, and I'm going to put him on speaker. Okay, he hates when I do this, but you and I are basically kind of going to take advantage of Austin a little bit. So we're going to call him, and you're just going to tell him, hey, I need to think about it. I'm not completely comfortable, something like that. And if you kind of prod him and tell him that, what I'll say is I'll ask him if maybe we can cover a couple of months of your solar payment just to make it easier. And what you'll do is if we sign you up today, you'll actually get a little bit extra out of it. That way it kind of makes you a little more comfortable, pushes you over the edge a little bit, and you're going to start saving money because I get that change is scary. So we kind of want to sweeten that deal for you. So you and I will get on the phone. I'll call him on speaker right now and see what we can do, okay?
All right, sounds great.
All right, don't tell him you're in on this.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Hey, Austin. I'm here with Joe. If you want to say hi. Hi.
Hey.
Okay, great. Hey, so I'm here with Joe. We've talked about solar, and honestly, he loves it. He loves the idea of solar. He loves the savings. I mean, I knew coming in that it was something that would appeal to him, and he's definitely excited. The only thing is, man, like we all know, changes aren't always fun, and so Joe's a little bit nervous about making that leap right away. So I'll let you kind of talk to him a little bit, and he'll kind of explain how he's feeling. Is that okay? All right, great. Hey, Joe, tell Austin kind of what you told me about wanting to wait and all that.
Hey, Austin, thanks so much. I appreciate it, Jesse. Hey, I'll not take too much of your time, Austin, but I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with you guys. It feels really good. But I just want, a little more time. But if you guys can give me something really exciting, I might decide to do it today. So I'll just try and see what you got for me.
Okay. See that, Austin? He's kind of trying to muscle you a little bit, but I thought maybe maybe there's something special we could do. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll ask him. Hey, Joe, are you military at all or a veteran?
No, but I'm old.
You're old? Okay. He's old. We got anything for that? Okay, nothing for old people. Okay. Do you have anyone in your immediate family that's a veteran?
I have no. Oh, my mom. My mom is actually a translator for the U.S. Army.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that, Austin? Okay, cool. So we could actually approve a promo for that. Now, how many months could we cover for Joe? Because I know usually we do 3, but honestly, I really like him. He's definitely interested, and I want to save him a little extra. Is there anything extra we can kind of do for him on top of that veterans promo? Okay, awesome. So it sounds like, Joe, if this kind of helps and you're ready to kind of move forward, we'll actually be able to cover the first year for you. You'd be able to transition to solar, have no power bill at all for a year, and then pick up with the lower bill once you do start. So he's laughing, he's liking it. I can see his face. So sounds like we're going to go ahead and sign him up, Austin. If you could send me the paperwork to make sure we get him that year, that'd be awesome. Okay, great. Awesome. Good job. We muscled him into it. Sounds like we got him convinced.
You got a year for free?
A whole year, no power bill and no solar payment. Look at that.
All right. Now, you can put this in writing, right?
Oh, 100%. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, let's just shake hands on it. Definitely putting it in writing, for sure. All right, so let me just fill this out real quick. We'll pre-qualify you and go from there, okay? So how do I spell your first name?
J-O Close. That was amazing, bro. And you know what? This was spontaneous. This was rapid fire, and just so the way you did it was awesome and unbelievable, man. So tell me what you think. How did it feel?
Yeah, good. I just always like making the customer feel like I'm on their side and I'm kind of muscling other people into it. That's the way I kind of do my drop calls. I'm always like winking at them and be like, push them, and it really makes them feel like we're kind of in this together. And by the time they get all emotionally involved in that, it's usually a wrap. So it's always a good time.
Yeah, everybody watching, there's different techniques people use. We may not use the same one for every single homeowner, and it's these things we need as solar pros to make sure we help the homeowners as best as possible. So thanks for showing us that technique. You have a few more minutes, so maybe we can do a little Q&A.
Yeah, sure. A couple more.
Let's go. Solar Pro Q&A. So everybody watching, go ahead, go put your comments in. Tell us how you think he did. Great job, or he needs work, or whatever you want to put in there. Any objections you want to handle? We'll have some more time with Jesse right now, guys. Go ahead, put in the comment section. So speaking of the comments, let's go into it a little bit here, okay? Sure. Facebook user. Woo! There we go. Bruce Buffer in the house. We got Braden Hartzell. Let's go. So I'm not sure who you have, but you have a fan. Jesse is the man. Mercury in retrograde. Truth. We got Braden jumping in here. Joe Musica, I want to go with Tesla. Your PPW is outrageous. So there's an objection you want you to handle.
Yeah. So again, you're kind of going back to wanting to make sure you're dealing with the right company there, right? So I see out there you drive a Mercedes. Why do you drive a Mercedes, Joe?
Do I drive Mercedes?
Yeah, I see you drive a Mercedes. Why'd you decide to go with Mercedes?
Man, I just want to make sure I have the luxury, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable. If I'm going to be commuting to work, come on, man, I want to be comfortable.
Right, comfortable, reliable car is what we're looking for. Okay, so is there a particular reason you didn't go with a Kia? Because it's a lot cheaper.
Man, it's going to save me money, but I'm going to be that ride every day. I'm going to be stiff. It's going to be small. It's not going to have the automatic options. Man, I want to get the extra if I'm going to get it,
You're going to do it. You want to do it right and spend a little extra money to do it right. Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at?
Gotcha.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so ultimately what it comes down to, if we look real quick, we can Google it. You'll see all these articles and reviews on Tesla. you know, when you spend a little bit extra, you get a little bit more. That's all you're doing here. Same thing.
We'll keep it going. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. We got some laughs here. Spending some serious time in the hot tub. I think we got some people who know you here. Please let Austin be on the phone. Austin, he just fake called you.
Great.
You better get some referrals. Now, do your close sheet.
Oh my gosh, who is this?
This is your team.
Seriously, Eric, stop telling me to do my close sheets.
So I'm gonna have a couple of questions for you, man, because I'm a big fan of yours. I've known you for a while, and when we work together, man, you're just a killer out there. You just always consistent. You're always one of the top guys, and you were just starting solar. You know, I know there was a little bit in the bio about what you did before solar. So can you tell me a little bit what you did before solar? How'd you transition into it?
Yeah, so I used to go door to door as a knocker for exterior home improvement, like doors, windows, siding, roofing, that sort of stuff. And honestly, didn't really like it, didn't like the company culture, but I moved from Michigan to North Carolina. And I've only legally been allowed to work for about 4 years because I'm from the Netherlands. So I didn't have any work permission, and it took forever to get.
Where are you from? What'd you say?
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Well, I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
remember the last name that carried a little bit, but
yeah, the two A's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, moving down there, I was just trying to look for something similar because it's the only thing I'd done really as a real job. And my wife is this huge hippie. So she was like, when she saw the solar thing, she's like, "You're doing it. You're saving the world. Go for
it." That's awesome, man. So I know that you went from door knocking to closing to now managing. When you're like in the field, I think it's easier to have a good customer experience because you're there, you're the one communicating with them, you're working on them. But once you become a manager, it's really hard to make sure the customer is being treated right, they're getting the experience. How do you make sure that the customer is getting a good experience from the managerial role?
That's a good question. I really haven't been a manager for a really long time, and I mostly manage knockers. So really, I'm just closing the deals. At the moment, I've got one closer that's working his way up. He's starting to get really good, actually. Shout out to you, Donovan. And so, we'll start running into that then. But I think ultimately it comes down to actually distributing that work amongst the reps themselves. Like they should know how to take care of their people. They need to be trained on that. And if you can inspire them to do that, then that, helps alleviate a lot of that pain for sure.
Well, so speaking of that, like, having that mentor inside, did you have any mentors and trainers that helped you, in your career?
Oh yeah, I got some serious shout outs. So Darren Teig was the first closer to ever train me, and him and Andres Montemayor were awesome. They were instrumental to me.
Andres, I know Andres. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to you, bro. And actually, my first 3 months in solar, I didn't close a single deal. And my manager.
Say that louder, man, because so many solar pros go struggle. They don't realize that it's not easy in the beginning, and you can struggle. So talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I got no commission at the time. I was just a knocker, so I was getting paid like $12 an hour. So I was making really very little from month to month, and it was a struggle. People, my manager even tried to fire me and said, "Dude, I don't know if this is for you. You've given it 3 months," but I was.
I like you said he tried to fire you. Like he tried.
He tried to fire me, but shout out to Nate Wick and Austin Pena for kind of
Austin Pena, what's up?
Austin Pena in the house. And I actually went out and I knocked doors with Nathan Wick, who is insanely good on the doors. Spent about a week with him and started closing deals. So I think it's about finding the right person to kind of help you out and get you started, right? Being open to critique and to input. But yeah, it took 3 months before I closed a single deal. It was painful for sure.
But how's it been ever since?
Dude, it's every step. It's the same thing. When I moved into closing, it was like, man, there's so much to learn, but there's something exciting about not knowing or feeling like you don't know everything. You never know everything. But every time you've got this new challenge, it's something like being a manager. Like I've got so much respect for James Wood, Austin Pena, DJ.
James Wood, shout out.
Dude, the amount of work these guys do that we don't even notice is incredible. So every step, there's been entirely new challenges. It never ends.
Well, you know what? Now you're in the role, even though you're new in the position. So now you have to give advice to new people that would start door knocking. So what's your first advice to door knockers who are starting out in solo? What do you tell them?
I think be yourself on the doors is the biggest thing. That is so difficult to do. Like people memorize a pitch or memorize a certain attitude or want to be like the cool guy, the fun guy. And just realizing that you're a cool guy and it's fine to just talk to someone the way you would talk to your buddy, respectfully, of course. But yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. Just being yourself and trying not to put on a facade because people see that. Like, for example, you ever watch a movie and you see an actor or an actress and their acting just isn't quite right. You don't even know what it is, but it's bothering you and you know it's fake. People can see that. If you can see it in a movie with professional actors and actresses, they can see it in you. So just be yourself. Don't act.
Don't act unless you've had many years acting experience.
Like Tom Cruise. Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I know you're mostly your team is door knocking. Do you have to do any like virtual over the phone, any kind of texting, or is it just all in home for you?
So we did virtual for probably like 5 months when COVID first started, but other than that, it's been almost exclusively in home.
Awesome. So, you've been talking solar all the time, and I known you for a while, and we always talk solar, but I don't really know you. What are some things you tell us about you? Hobbies, interests, things you're into, bro?
Yeah. So one of my biggest ones is actually aquariums. So freshwater and saltwater fish and aquariums, which has been awesome. We're talking about solar again, but anytime I walk in a house where someone's got an aquarium, that deal is sealed. It's
There you go.
But yeah, that riding. I got my motorcycle stolen a couple weeks ago, but until then, I really enjoyed riding. Yeah, not really much. I spent a lot of time working, to be honest.
Hey, you know what? I only got a couple of questions more, and I really appreciate you. I know you're super busy and you have to get to your next thing. I was really curious. Is like, you're so young and you're so successful already, and I see you're keep moving on up. So like, what's next for you? What's your like next year plan? What's next 5-year plan? What do you see in your future, man?
Yeah, I think for me, really the learning management more and being really open to criticism and input from people who've done it before me and who have done a really good job. I've already had to do a couple of things that are just difficult, like as a manager. So really embracing that difficulty, and working on those skills and just becoming better at my current job. That takes years, so I'm happy to do it for the next year if that's what it takes.
Awesome, bro. Hey, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, anybody want to contact you, work with you, whatever else, any last thoughts, anything you want to leave off with?
Yeah. There's two things that come into play. One is the people that you allow around you and that you allow to encourage you, teach you, train you, motivate you. And the second one, and this is an even bigger one, is it's all about you. The work that you put in, the time that you put in, the intentionality that you have about becoming better. That's the part that you can control for sure. So pair those two together, guys, and let's everyone should go sober. Let's do it.
Yeah. Anybody wants to reach out to you?
Yeah, just DM me on Facebook. I'm sure I'll be in this somewhere. Like you'll tag me or something. I'm more than happy for them to reach out to me that way.
Hey guys, Jesse squeezed us in his day. He literally got us in time. So if you guys are thankful he made it on, go ahead and put in comments. Thanks. Next week, we have a little special show going on. I'll be in Vegas in the mansion with about 12 other solar pros. So we might be doing a rapid fire solar pro kind of show next week. It's a little surprise because nobody else knows about it. I'm literally just saying it right now. So hopefully we can make it happen. But so check out next week's show. Jesse, you are the man. It's so nice work with you, knowing you, and I'm glad to see you on Facebook. And we'll stay in touch, bro. I really appreciate you, man.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, bro.
All right, guys. Later, Jesse.